Right, okay guys, so we're about to start painting, so let's see what happens, shall we? It's going to be interesting, eh? Right, okay, don't know how well you guys can see me or see what I'm doing. The camera's over there, so I can't kind of keep changing camera position necessarily. Oh, just out of what's there, if you wondering why I've got a piece of paper on my palette, my wooden palette, it's just that it's easier to clean. These are throwaway palettes. You can buy them most art shops. See, look, I got mine from one of those cheap ones. I think it was that? I can't even see that because I haven't got my glasses. It shows how bad my eyesight's getting. I think it says £6.50. I think, yeah, £6.50. I think, something like that. It's difficult to see, but anyway, so that's a throwaway palette. You know, you can use watercolour, oil paint, whatever, and you see it's got shiny what's the name, and then you just rip them off. You see, you do that and then you rip one off and then you what's the name, and it's just, it's a lot of convenience, saves a lot of messing about, and I've just noticed the camera's leaning, which is, oh great, never mind, sorry, just noticed that the camera's for crying out loud, anyway. Leaning camera pizza now. Right, okay, so I'm going to make a start. Okay. Right, so yeah, I was saying about that, but anyway. Right, let's make a start, shall we? Right. Okay. So like I say, I'm not sure if I'll do a running commentary necessarily. But then I wonder just how boring this video might become for you guys. But basically what I'm doing is doing it purely from sort of like, you know, I haven't got a tree in front of me, so I'm not doing it from like an actual tree in front of me. What does the bark of a tree look like? And all trees look different anyway. But basically I'm mixing a bit of brown with a bit of blue in order to try and get a sort of tree-like colour, if you want to put it that way. This is burnt sienna, by the way. This one of these browns, I forget which one is actually the burnt sienna. It's quite a nice brown actually. Well, actually, yeah. See, I'm just waffling now. Oh no, I'm really just waffling. Not overly keen on that. Okay, let me think. What shall I do? What shall I do? See, it's funny as well, just making those other videos, and I was thinking, let's say I did them small, bite-sized, sort of like 2-3 minute bits with those werewolf things, and I decided to put them together. And I'm thinking, maybe I can use that technique when I'm doing this instead of just continuously filming. But either that, I'll just chop them up, just edit it. You know what I mean? Just film and just edit. Yeah. Otherwise, I've got to keep getting up and stopping and getting up and stopping. But then again, I don't know. Then I might want to reposition the camera as well. Right. Okay. You see how I'm trying to think about the filming, but also this at the same time. Wow, that's really. Right. Okay. Come on, think. I think we're going to need some white. That's another thing. In terms of art, you get lots of different schools of thought, lots of different ideas. It's like anything with human beings. You know, the thing is, like that saying goes, you know, opinions are like arseholes, everyone's got one. And it's no different from artists and what have you, and different schools of thought and what have you. And the thing is that, you know, some people suggest that you should stay away from black and white paint, particularly if you're trying to get realistic effects and stuff and what have you, because black and white are actually not colours, they're tones. I may have mentioned this once before in one of my other videos, but they're not actually colours. And although you get tones, obviously, in real life, generally speaking, most colours, even in the natural world, as it were, don't necessarily contain black. I mean, even because, like, if you look at those crows that we were looking at the other day, if you really look up close at those crows' feathers, you'll see that there's different colours there, and it's not strictly speaking black. You know, but like I said, I mean, some people will disagree with this, and some people will say, well, of course you can use black and white in your paintings or whatever. Now, personally, I don't care either way. Just as long as it gets the job done and it creates what you want to create, use whatever technique works. Do you know what I mean? I don't subscribe to any particular school of thought or way of doing art. Because the thing is, then you can get bogged down in am I doing the right process? Is this right? And is this the right technique? And get caught up in all of that and lose the creative essence of what you're trying to do. At least that's my take on it. Do you know what I mean? But also bear in mind, like I've said many times before, I am also a very lazy person. So if I can find, look, hence using this rather than having to clean this afterwards. But there is a bit of a reason that, to be quite honest, because it is a pain in the bum to try and clean these palettes, to be quite honest, because the thing is, although they're not that cheap actually, I think it's about just over £10 for one of those. And all you look at it and you think it's made out of plywood, but you scratch underneath that and you see it's a veneer, and underneath it's cardboard. It's actually made out, because I had another one once. In fact, it might be that one up there. Oh, you can't see it, sorry. Or can you? I can't tell if you can see it. But I've got my old one up there, which is full of paint now. Because sometimes, I don't like wasting paint either. I hate to waste paint. Because, like, it's expensive, it's not cheap, and I haven't got a lot of money, do you know what I mean? So I hate to, so if I'm doing a project, and then I come to a natural conclusion, or natural finish, or whatever, but I've still got loads of paint left, if I can salvage it, I will. I'll actually literally scrape it back into the things, if I can get away with it, it's not too mixed up with other colours. Failing that, I'll put something over it, a piece of plastic or something like that, and try and preserve it for another time. But of course, in doing that, sometimes I forget. Inevitably the paint dries, and then when it gets like that and there's a big blob of paint that's dried solid, it's really hard to shift it, and so over time it gets full like that. And like I say, there have been times when I tried to keep, I've always been taught to keep things, when you're doing a job, you clear away as you go along. Do you know what I mean? Because say like you've got, I don't know, 10, 15 different tools knocking about. If you've used a tool and you're finished with it and you're definitely not going to use it again, you put it away. Do you know what I mean? You clear up as you go along. Because the more mess you make and the more tools you've got about, the more accidents you're going to have, the more things can go wrong, and it's just basically more work. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you work methodically through and you're doing a particular job, so I was always taught that you clean up after yourself as you're going along. So even though you might not have finished the project, whatever it is that you're doing, as you're working along, so you finish with one tool, you put it away. And you clear whatever mess you're making, you clear up as you go along, because again, by the end of the day, once you've finished the project or you've finished working on that project for the day, when it comes to clearing up, you haven't got a lot of stuff to clear up for a start off, and plus the fact it's just a lot safer as well that way. So that's the way I was always taught, is that you clean up as you go along, and the thing is that I completely forgot where I was going. What was I saying? You see how I do? Do you know what I'm like? I go off on tangents and start waffling on about stuff. I'm not actually doing any painting, am I? I'm busy talking. Yeah, there was a reason why I was telling you all that, and it's completely gone out of my head. That's because I'm trying to talk to you guys, but at the same time think about this. I am a typical bloke. I can't multitask. Oh man, this is so embarrassing. Right, okay, never mind. Something's attracting me over here, and I can't remember what the heck it was, because I'm thinking about something. I haven't got a clue now, actually. Do you know what I'm going to do though? I'm going to try, because I'm thinking in terms of this bark and what have you. It needs a bit of grey in it, because it's not strictly speaking brown, is it? Let's be honest about that. It's more so, well, like I say, obviously it varies. It can vary on the actual. I mean, if you're going to be really technical about it and say like, right, you've got to get it absolutely spot on to it, like exactly what a tree bark, the colour of it looks like, sort of thing. I mean, one tree bark comes in many different shades, and many different kind of textures and all the rest of it. And plus the fact, even the same tree can look different in different lights. You know what I mean? And different times of the day, and whatever sort of thing. So, you know, the thing is that I don't know. Maybe it should be a bit more grey rather than sort of strictly. Well, I wasn't even going to go the brown route anyway. That was going to be my basic underlying base of paint, if you like. You know, that was going to be the underlying colour, if you like. Right, here we go. First couple of marks. Let's see what happens, eh? Because don't forget, I've got this glue on here as well, which I was all because I'd rather have used. Like I said, I'd much rather have used the PVA glue, but I didn't have any. Like I said, I had to use that Yoo-hoo stuff, and I was worried that although it might be a good sealant for this, it also then might make the acrylic resistant. It might act as a resistant. Do you know what I mean? So you know, like when you do wax resist, people know wax resist, where you get a wax crayon or a candle, and you make marks on a piece of paper, and then you paint on it, and then the paint will resist where the wax is, but then the gaps where there's no wax will be filled in with the paint. I don't know if you guys have come across that. Obviously I've done that, and it's called wax resist sort of style of painting. You get some really nice effects and stuff with it. It really is. But that's what I was worried that this might do the same. But so far it seems to be covering it. It doesn't seem to be. You know, like when you drop a drop of oil in water, and it'll float on top of the water, and you know, when you see it spread out, obviously, sort of thing. But it sits on the top of the water. It doesn't actually mix in that sense. And anyway, so I thought it might do that, but so far it ain't doing that. Now, I'm not sure about this colour, but I'm going to use this as a base for now, and then kind of just work on it from there. It's not, yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to worry too much about it for now. I'm just going to, like I say, I'll use this as a bit of a base colour for the time being, because it's kind of near to what I was envisioning, what I was thinking about. God blimey, I can't speak sometimes. So I'm thinking also, like I said, I'd like to try and make these videos a little bit more interesting, in the sense that, oh God, it's gone a bit too dark now. Never mind, let's grab a little bit more white there, just stick it in there. Right, so I think what I'm going to do is, I'm going to, crying out loud, see, sometimes that's another thing as well. Sometimes it's really hard to keep the same colour going. Sometimes you have to, you mix a particular shade and it's just right, and you think, yeah, that's just the one I want. And then you run out, or whatever, the bit that you've made or mixed together of that particular colour, and then you go to try and make another batch of it, if you like, so that you can continue painting that particular area or that particular part of the painting. And lo and behold, you find it really difficult to actually recreate exactly that particular shade sometimes. Well, I do anyway. But maybe that's a lack of experience, lack of practice, because maybe it doesn't necessarily have to be like that. Do you know, I'm noticing as well that, oh, never mind. Like I say, that's the thing as well. I'm trying not to get too caught up in, oh no, it looks really shit, or no, it doesn't look right, or oh, that's blah blah blah, or whatever, because it's about the process at the moment. That's what it's got to be about. That's what it's about. It's about getting back into this, because like I said, I haven't done any serious painting for ages. It's been a long time since I've done some serious art. I've just neglected it, and now I seriously can't recreate that flipping what's the name, which, although it wasn't absolutely spot on, was a downside better what I'm getting now. Oh damn. Oh man. Oh no. That's not what I want. Oh, never mind. Just have to keep going for now. It's because I'm not concentrating properly either. Like I say, I've been so out of this, of creating and painting for so long. You see, this is why they say use it or lose it sort of thing. You know, you've got to keep practicing. You know, if you really want to be into your art, if you really want to paint, the thing is that you really have to, it's something you have to practice on a regular basis, because you can lose it. You know what I mean? You can end up, you know, you become so unpracticed that, you know, you find it difficult to get back to where you were or something, whatever. Oh, God, see, completely lost this. Great. Now, you're actually starting to see a little bit of my real process here. See how frustrated I was getting then? Great, I haven't got my cloth. Right, sorry, that isn't it. Where's my... Oh, never mind. I did have another one somewhere. I don't like... That's another thing with me. I don't like using stuff if there's one already in use. You know, like some people when they open a carton of milk in the fridge, and then they get halfway through it, and then they open a fresh one. Do you know what I mean? That really bugs me. It's like, why don't you use that? There's still milk in it. Do you know what I mean? Why are you opening a fresh one? So it really, do you know what grinds my gears? You know what really grinds my gears? I don't know if people get the reference to that. It's a Family Guy episode. Do you know what really grinds my gears? I thought it was quite funny. But yeah, no, because it does. It really bugs me, that. It really bugs me. You know, I'm one of those people, you know, and some people are going to find this annoying and really anal, and I admit it probably is. I hate the people that squeeze the tube of toothpaste from the middle. So, I mean, no, you squeeze it from the end and then gradually work your way up. So, I know I know. It's really anal art. But that's just me, I'm sorry, but I just find it really annoying. You know, why open a new bottle of milk, and it doesn't have to be milk, anything like that, do you know what I mean? Whatever it is, whether it's milk, whatever it is, if there's one already in use. And the reason why I was talking about that, by the way, because you're going to think, like, why is he talking about that? Because I've just grabbed this rag, but I could have swore I already had one that was still relatively clean, that I was using, and I can't find it, and now I had to get the other one out. This is an old t-shirt, by the way, an old ripped up t-shirt, because every now and again you need to get the excess paint off, or you need to get the excess water off your brush, so that's what I do. But anyway, the thing is, like I say, you know, it just annoys me. The thing is, I didn't want to use a new, fresh rag if I still had the other one knocking about, but I can't find it. Great. Right, now I was saying as well that I want to try and edit these a little bit. I'm not going to edit out any of the, you know, parts where I get frustrated or whatever. I just want to make it a bit more interesting to watch rather than just me going on and on and on. Right, so what I'm going to do is, let's show you that, by the way. I'm not happy with it. And like I said, bear in mind the fact that it's been a long time since I've done any serious art and mixing paint and what have you. It's not something that you can just go straight back to. It really, seriously, it isn't. It's something you really have to practice on a regular basis. So anyway, right, I'm going to leave it there for now because I'm, like I say, got a little idea. Right, see you in a bit.